Dasi from Florida.
Hare Krishna Padmasaki Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Aditi Devi Dasi from Canada.
Hare Krishna Aditi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Gurudev. All glories to the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Qatar. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Srimani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Pyari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinta Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinta Gandharika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Pyari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Radha Pyari Mataji. Please, Mataji, go ahead. Hare Krishna Radha Pyari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Kinda. Sorry, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Vrunda Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I offer my obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And I'm sorry, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Radha Mataji. Please, my Dandavat Pranam to you and to all assembled devotees here. And all goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru and Gauranga, all goes to assembled devotees. This is
Mataji, your voice is breaking. Could you please let me know your name, Mataji?
It's Puja Mataji. Puja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Puja Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji not yet joined. If anybody want to do introductions. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are fortunate to have His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, 1st chapter, text 56 onwards. First, I would like to hand over call to Shirasham Prabhuji for a brief introduction of Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Shirasham Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. I would like to hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu was born in Komila, MP Nagara in East Pakistan in the year 1962 and later shifted to Tripura. It was in 1971 when he saw Srila Prabhupada first time during a program when he decided to become a devotee. In 1977, he visited Mayapur for the first time and was initiated by Bhavananda Maharaj in 1979. From 81 to 86, Prabhuji was working in Mayapur as a guest house manager. In 86, during the 500th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya, he served as the first general manager in Mayapur, managing the Gaur Purnima festival. From 80 to 89, Prabhuji served as a facilitator of prasadam and accommodations for GBC sannyasis, devotees and life members. He also served as a life membership director and fundraiser for Mayapur temple. In 89, His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj kindly took him with them to travel across Europe. They then brought him to America, where His Holiness Badrinarayan Maharaj and His Holiness Mukunda Goswami Maharaj, who knew him from Mayapur, engaged him in cultivating congregation services in San Diego, California. Prabhuji took to Vanaprastha in 2012. For many years, he has been serving the devotees in Alachua temple every day. Prabhuji travels across various parts of America, preaching the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat, back to you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for nice introduction. Hare Krishna Pran Govind Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I would like to hand over call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call.
Hare Krishna, Mother. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, wonderful. I would like to sing the song that I forwarded to Mother Shama Gauri. I don't know if she... It's a simple, everybody knows. Bhaja Hure Mana, Sri Nanda Nandana. That relevant to today's purport of Srila Prabhupada. So first of all, thank you. First of all, I like to welcome all of you, and I feel very grateful to be here with all of you. Please accept my humble obeisances. Bancha kalpa turvesya kripa sindhave vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. So I'm going to sing this song, which is relevant to today's purport. Bhaja Hure Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Indare Bhaja Hure Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Indare Durlabha Manava Janama Sata Sange Durlabha Manava Janama Sata Sange Taraha E Bhava Sindhure Abhaya Charanara Bindare Sita Atapa Bhatavarishana Edina Jamini Jagire Sita Atapa Bhatavarishana Edina Jamini Jagire Bifale se binu kripana dhura jana Bifale se binu kripana dhura jana Chapala sukha labha lagire Abhaya charanara bindare Bhaja Hure Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya charanara bindare Idhana Jovana পুত্র পরিজন ইতে কে আছে পরতি তীরে ধন যৌবন পুত্র পরিজন ইতে কে আছে পরতি তীরে কমল দল জল জীবন টল মল কমল দল জল জীবন টল মল ভজহু হরি পদ নীতি রে অভয় চরণার বিন্দরে শ্রবণ কীর্তন স্মরণ বন্দন পাদ সেবন দাসরে শ্রবণ কীর্তন স্মরণ বন্দন পাদ সেবন দাসরে पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन पूजन सखी जन आत्मनिवेदन गोविंद दास विलास रे गोविंद दास विलास रे अभय चरणार बिंदरे भज हो रे मन श्री नंदन अभय चरणार बिंदरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपाद 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 गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव Mother Radha, would you like to read the translation, please?
Yes, Prabhuji. We will read the transwise. First, oh mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless, having obtained this rare human birth, grasp over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons. Could you please read next one, another person?
Both in the day and night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the mind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men.
What incidence of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons, and family members? This life is tottering like a drop of water on a lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of the Lord Hari.
It is the desire and great longing of Govinda Dasa to engage himself in the 9 processes of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of Lord Hari and chanting those glories, constantly remembering him and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, serving the Supreme Lord as a servant, worshipping him with flowers and incense, and so forth. serving him as a friend and completely offering the Lord one's very self.
Very good. Thank you. So I would like to welcome all of you to this session of your day. Every moment is joyful, but Bhagavatam is very nourishing to Bhakta's heart. So today we're going to recite 6th canto, 1st chapter. Yeah, thank you. Text 56 and 57. So I would like 2 more devotees to recite after me. So 3, as Prabhupada mentioned, minimum was nice. As we are focusing on this welcoming Janmashtami, and you know, the Lord's name Vasudev was given by Gargacharya when he realized in his calculation that his object of worship is the son of Nanda Maharaj. And his heart was overwhelmed. He was so much emotional that he finally met the Lord face to face. But there was some struggle because he wants to do a grand worship and he wants to bow down to the lotus feet of Nanda Maharaj's son, Vasudev. But he could not do this. And Mother Yashoda made it even worse. She's seeing Gargacharya's maunam for a little while, silence, because he is like overwhelmed. He wants to glorify his object of love, Krishna, the Supreme God, not knowing that he's meditating for thousands of years to have this meeting. But he's going to go against the Lord and the devotees' personal interest, which will commit offense, because Krishna decided to act as a child of Nanda and Yashoda. And if he declare he is the Supreme God, he won't suck the breast milk of Mother Yashoda. I don't know who is going to get benefit. Neither Krishna will be happy. So in this bewilderment, he some other got composed. And then he started uttering the name. And one of the name was Vasudev. So I hope this birthday of Lord Krishna is coming. And you all also think about that Lord Vasudev. Now in Vrindavan, Lord Vasudev as a son of Nanda Yashoda. But in Mathura, he never came as a son. He appeared, did not take birth. He appeared there as their son. Well, as Narayan, then became son. So please utter this name, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and purify our consciousness. We can do it together 3 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nasta Prayesu Avadresu Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistagi. So today's verse 56, 57, the 1st chapter of 6th canto, that Srila Prabhupada titled The History of the Life of Ajamil. Ayami Sruta Sampanna Sila Britta Gunalaya Drita Brato Mridu Dantaha Saptavan Mantra Vichuchi Guru Vagni Atiti Briddhanam Shasrushur Anang Ankritaha Sarva Bhuta Surit Sadhu Mita Bhag Anashuyakaha. Two more devotee, please recite. One male devotee, one female body devotee will be good.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Can I recite, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Ayam yeshuta sampanna shilavrata gunalaya dhrita vrato mridurdhanta satyavan mantra vichuchihi guru agni atite vridhanam shushrushur anahankritaha sarvabhuta suhrit sadhur mitavak anashuyakaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. One male body devotee, if there is.
Hari Bol Prabhuji, Prahladananda Prabhuji, Ayam Hisrut Sampanna Sila Vrutta Gunalaya Dhruta Vrato Mrudurdantaha Satyavan Mantra Vishuchi Purvagni Atiti Vruddhanam Sususur Ahankrutaha Sarva Bhuta Suhrat Sadhu Mitvag Anasuyaka. Hare Krishna.
Very good. So before we read the synonyms, translation and purport, I'm sure all of you are already advanced devotee. I know for sure. I don't have to ask you. I know for sure you all are advancing very rapidly. But just to purify my heart, I want to have a refresh. Where am I in this part of this sixth canto of Bhagavatam? So I'll summarize where this verse fall into. If you go back, feeling deep compassion, Maharaj Parikshit inquired how living entities suffering in hellish worlds could be delivered from such miserable existence. Through the pastimes of Ajami, Sukdev Goswami highlighted the potency of the Lord's holy name. It's so wonderful, which is the ultimate saving grace. The chanting of these sacred syllables fully protects a devotee from the agent of Jamaraj and daunting prospect of falling into ghastly region of the universe. Summary of the first chapter, what I remember, that Maharaj Parikshit recapped the topics he had heard thus far and then inquired how one can mitigate sinful reaction and escape the hellish suffering described at the conclusion of the previous canto. In response, if I recall, Sukdev Goswami first prescribed the solution of ritual atonement, prayaschitta, in Sanskrit we call. So Maharaj Parikshit rejected this. Why? Because he is very thoughtful devotee, like all of you. And he's sensing that people would invariably fall into the cycle of sin again, just like an elephant who bathes, but then immediately covers itself in dust. Merely cancelling the bad with the good would not be comprehensive solution. So Sukdev Goswami, as a guru, Prabhupada mentioned in the one of the purport that Guru always has to test the disciple before the disciple goes to the next level, whether he understood or eligible. Is he thinking? Is he aware where, what level he has come from where and where he wants to go? So Sukdev Goswami then offered the solution of cultivating knowledge, which removes ignorance and deeper cause of sin. Maharaj Parikshit remained unconvinced. Believe or not, Prabhus and mothers, I was even shocked, like, wow. It was the mercy of Sukdev Goswami or Parikshit Maharaj, both. If Parikshit Maharaj did not ask this deeper question, we would not find the supremacy of bhakti or holy name. So, seeing Maharaj Parikshit unconvinced, feeling that there was still a chance for the weeds of sin to reappear, the root cause had not been addressed. In conclusion, Sukdev Goswami established bhakti. This is the beauty of this chapter, as the process which uproots sin in such a way that it will never come back, never come back. We will be eternally free. Just as the first rays of sunshine dissipate the fog, the unparalleled power of bhakti, we call bhava, or even ashukti, or even nistha stage, can destroy one's sinful life and is therefore established as ultimate atonement. Now, to demonstrate the power of bhakti, Sukdev Goswami narrated the history of Ajamil. That's why Ajamil pastime comes. While growing up, Ajamil was trained as a perfect Brahmana, spotless in character and learned in scriptural wisdom. Once, however, while alone in the forest, he chanced upon a lusty Sudra embracing a prostitute. The amorous sin captured his mind, and Ajamil was drawn to that prostitute, whom he later married shamelessly, abandoning his elderly parents, chaste wife in the process. He lost all sense of religiosity, dharma, knowledge, gyan, abandoned all good qualities. Today we are going to read those qualities. These two verses gives details about it. And engage himself in various sinful acts for the upkeep of his sensual gratification and pleasure. So with that note, when we read the translation and purport, you can relate. Would somebody like to read word-to-word meaning? There are few nice, very effective words are well translated by Prabhupada. Any volunteer?
Yeah, I can read, Prabhuji.
Okay, Sureshwar Prabhu, nice to hear you.
Kechit. Oh, no. Okay, let me see the screen. Yeah. Can you go up, Mataji, a little bit?
Yes, okay. I am.
Yeah, I am the person known as Ajamila. He, indeed, Shruta Sampannaha, well educated in Vedic knowledge, Sheela, of good character, Vrita, good conduct, Guna, and good qualities, Alayaha, the reservoir, Drita Vrittaha, fixed in the execution of Vedic injunctions, Mrudhu, very mild, Dantaha, completely controlling the mind and senses, Satyavak, always truthful, Mantravit, knowing how to chant the Vedic hymns, Suchihi, always very neat and clean, Guru, the spiritual master, Agni, the fire god, Atithi, guest, Vriddhanam, and of the old household members, Shushru, Shuhu, very respectfully engaged in the service, anahanka kritaha, without pride or false prestige. Sarva bhuta shruhut, friendly to all living entities. Sadhuhu, well behaved, no one could find any fault in his character. Mitavak, talking with great care and not to speak nonsense. Anasuya kaha, not envious. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, your accent is very good. Would you like to read the translation?
Yeah, translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning, this Brahmana named Ajamila studied all the Vedic literatures. He was a reservoir of good character, good conduct, and good qualities. Firmly established in executing all the Vedic injunctions, he was very mild and gentle, and he kept his mind and senses under control. Furthermore, he was always truthful. He knew how to chant the Vedic mantras, and he was always very pure. Ajamila was very respectful to his spiritual master, the fire god, guests, and elderly members of his household. Indeed, he was free from false prestige. He was upright, benevolent to all living entities, and well behaved. He would never speak nonsense or envy anyone. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Purport. The order carriers of Jamaraj, Jamadutas, are explaining the factual position of piety and impiety, and how a living entity is entangled in this material world. Describing the history of Ajamil's life, the Jamadutas relate that in the beginning, he was a learned scholar of the Vedic literature. He was well behaved, neat and clean, very kind to everyone. In fact, he had all good qualities. In other words, he was like a perfect Brahmana. A Brahmana is expected to be perfectly pious, to follow all the regulative principles, and to have all good qualities. The symptoms of piety are explained in these verses. Srila Bhira Raghavacharya comments that Dhrita Brata means Dhritam Bratam Sri Sangha Rahitatmaka Brahmacharya Rupam. In other words, Ajamil followed the rules and regulation of celibacy as a perfect brahmachari and was very soft-hearted, truthful, clean, and pure. How he fell down in spite of all these qualities and thus became to be threatened with punishment by Jamaraj will be described in the following verse. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanati Mirandhasa Ghenanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namo. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvescha Kripa Sindhubhaye Vacha Patitanam Pavane Bho Vaishnavebho Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama. So dear Prabhus and mothers, thank you for joining this beautiful session of Bhagavatam. Anyone has any question or any further clarification or further discussion? Because this purport has many facets and I just don't know which way to go. If somebody give me a hints, like for example, spirituality, the foundation of morality. What explanation is here, Ajamils, it's all morality, pious person. But we don't see the spirituality, although the morality manifests because of the spirituality. So that's one angle. Another angle could be that what is the karma? How does it act? How long it stays with the devotee when some jiva, soul, try to surrender? How long karma affects? Did Ajamil do something wrong in his previous life that he's suffering now? What is the logic of karma? All of nature obeys law. That's another angle. And believe or not, many devotees even has a doubts about karma. Why not action and reaction? Everything happens in one life. Why are the ignorant not excused? I don't know. Some of you, I'm sure, thought. If I can think, all of you thought probably. Why do natural calamities kill thousands of innocent people we see? In Ajamil's case, it's just a reflection of this. Is everything destined? Or am I the maker of destiny? Ajamil supposed to fall down? He was destined to fall down? Or actually he was the maker of his fall down? What is the benefit of knowledge? Now you may say, wow, why are you talking so much, Prabhuji? What will be the benefit if we know everything about knowledge, about karma? Because there is a complete freedom from karma by Krishna consciousness is given in this chapter. So we can look at from any angle. Is there anyone has any question or any discussion you think you want to have? Otherwise, we'll just start. Also, last session, I did not complete the Sadachar, which is also, actually today is also Sadachar. But itself is also time consuming, like it takes an hour at least. Since no one...
So, Prabhuji,
Yes,
Haribo, done. My question is, was Ajamil a Krishna devotee, or he was a karma kandi Brahman following, his father's, occupation or whatever? Was he Krishna devotee or was a karma kandi Brahman?
I mean, in one sense, all Vedic followers are Krishna devotee.
Okay.
But directly, no. He was not direct Gauriya followers or Vaishnava follower like that.
Okay.
But he was following the Vedic culture. And maybe I'll mention something that his previous life, I'm sure you all heard it because last 1 month, I found so far 3 pastimes. One pastime was that seeing the deplorable situation of the Kali Yuga, maybe you all heard it, that how Pandit Parashar, his heart softened so much that he wanted to do something for the safety, for the relief, for the deliverance of Kali Yuga. While he was contemplating, he generally crosses the river Jamuna. If anybody, I mean, I'm sure some of you went probably, there is a crossing the river Jamuna, there is a little hill mountain, and there is a Durvasa Tila. Tila means like a hill, Durvasa Tila. And from Durvasa Tila, that area, Parashar would cross the Jamuna every day and come this side of Vrindavan and would go for his pilgrims and his daily recitation. But one time that he was ready to cross, it's not that he cannot cross the river, but there was a fisherman, Matsya Raj. He was the head of the fishing, I guess, Shabaras. So Shabaraj, he was sick and he could not come. So then he sent his daughter, whose name was Matsya Gandha, because her body was odor of fish. You all are Hare Krishna devotee. Maybe you have no idea what is fish smell. It can be little annoying after you become devotee. So imagine a beautiful girl who was born from a fish belly. Actually, it was Uparichar Basu. I won't go whole details of the story because it's a long story. But anyway, Uparichar Basu, how he shot an arrow, and then that arrow with that semen was swallowed by the fish, and then fish was caught by this Sabar Raj. And while they are cutting the fish, they found this girl. That's how she was born. So Sabar Raj was sick, so he sent his daughter, please go and allow this sadhu, sage, Parashar, to cross the river. Now this girl was not trained how to row the boat. So in the middle of the, she did actually halfway, then when she came in the middle of the Jamuna, boat got stuck because of the less water depth. So, and she didn't know how to move it. She tried with the rowing, with the getting up, on, moving, does not move. She almost sweating. Seeing this, Parashar thought, why I am thinking of delivering these Kali Yuga people through a great sadhu. I hope you all remember. It is not the Bhagavatam directly delivering. It is the Bhagavatam delivering the Kali Yuga Jiva through another devotees. It is very important to focus. The Bhagavatam reveals through the devotee, Bhagavatam delivers through a devotee. Not that if we have if a Karmi has a book, he will be delivered. That question was asked to Prabhupada. 3.25.25. If you look at in Bhagavatam purport, Prabhupada writes, for a Karmi, when they get a book from us, for a tangible advancement without devotee is impossible. You get Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti, you will definitely enter into the school of Bhakti. But to graduate, you need a teacher. Devotee association is the most important. So anyway, back to our Parashar Muni, he is a great person. He is the one who composed this Krishna's as a supreme Bhagavan. Aisharjasya, Samagrasya, Bijasya, many things he has contributed. So Parashar was very contemplative. this girl is so innocent, so beautiful, so she should give birth to a great soul right now. Through his glance, he impregnated her. While she had no clue, she was in the middle of Jamuna. It's called Deepa. Deepa, like a little island. Deepa. And she was surprised that she got pregnancy all of a sudden. And within a moment, her pregnancy matured. And she gave birth to a child. And Parashar assured her from the other side of the bank, do not worry. You are becoming the mother of a great soul who will deliver the world. She was happy. Also, she was a little disturbed because she was a virgin girl. She never married. She doesn't have a husband. What people will think? You have a child. Hey, where you got this child from? So while she was contemplating this, the child, as soon born, grew up like 18 years old, right in front of our eyes. He paid obeisances. He said, you're my child. Where are you going? He said, I'm crossing the river. I'm going to go and meditate and manifest the most important work that my father on the other side bestowing. So wait, but you are my child. He said, don't worry. Whenever you need me, you call me, I'll be there. For sure. I have that power already, mother. Of course, Parashar told this Matsagandha to go back to the home. In due course of time, she will get married. She said, how do I get married? My virginity is lost. So anyway, whole thing was fixed by Parashar's blessing. Her virginity came back and she became as she was before. And the child was born. Somebody help me. What's the child's name?
Vyasdev.
Vyasdev. Oh, Purushottam Prabhu, you are there. Wonderful. So, Vyasdev, because he was born in a Deepa, that's why he's called also Doipayan. So many names are given. So now, while this scenario was going on, maybe you did not hear this part. There was another sadhu in this Durvasa Tila watching the whole scenario. He was surprised. I hope nobody ever does this in your life. But sometimes some people, religious people, judge to advance soul, not knowing their power. So there was another, also a religious person who could not take this activity as a divine because he did not know the intention of Parashar. Rather, he said, what kind of sadhu are you? He challenged him. You made this lady pregnant and have a child. This is not a symptom. This immoral activity is not a. Parashar felt hurt because he was thinking for welfare of whole world. And this another apparently misunderstood sadhu, challenging and literally said, this is abominable activities that you made this girl. He said, you don't know my intention. Why you are becoming hissing, fissing like this? I curse you that you go to the lower level of human being. Because you are pious, you will act like this in the beginning, but then you have to suffer the consequences, what you meditated in your mind. Having union with a girl, unmarried girl, and all these things. So that was Ajami. That person who was judgmental, sentimental, you can say, judgmental, came as a Ajamil. His early life, where he left his spiritual life. You will see many soul comes to Krishna consciousness. They also kind of like a not interested in Krishna consciousness, but then after some time, all of a sudden something happened, they just join and they become so advanced very quick. They are already advanced sometime in last life. Now they started where the next paragraph of their life began. So Ajamil life is like this. Now, I'm going to show you something. Okay, how much time I have? 8 o'clock. I'll try to finish very quick. Let's see. Is that visible? Someone, please.
Yes, Prabhu, but can you put the slideshow?
Slideshow is there. It's just a white.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay, you didn't like the white color. Okay. This is called karma, how it works. Prahladananda Prabhu, can you please read this one loudly, please? Someone, please.
Is the karma viewpoint scientific? What is karma? How does it act? The logic of karma. 1. All of nature obeys laws. 2. Normal training system.
Very good. So what is karma? This type of question, if you live in America, even the Western people, even in the stock market, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, they talk about karma guru. I was surprised. 20 years back, I remember karma guru because I was playing little stock. I was like, wow, how is this? These people knows already karma guru. So it is well known. This is evident not only from the fact the word karma has a place in the English dictionary. If you have an English dictionary, you will find the word karma. I was so surprised. So it is not anymore Eastern world belief. It is also in the West. Now, what is the logic? The law of karma is for every action, there is equal or opposite reaction. Even in the Bible, it says very clearly, as you sow, so shall you reap. Science has discovered that all the natures obeys laws, from the microscopic to the macroscopic. For any interaction of any kind, nature follows laws. In fact, science is nothing but a study and application of the nature's law. If all of nature is governed by laws, why should we human be an exception to such laws? This is saying we can never break God's law. We can only break ourselves against God's law. You know, a good example, in Times Magazine one time put that one man, he said, I don't believe this gravitation. So what happened? He went to 10-story building and he jumped off. Well, then you can imagine what the rest. Surely, he broke his bones. He stayed alive, they said. He was in hospital for a month. So he definitely fall down. Whether he believes the gravitation or not, it doesn't matter. Whether we believe the karma law or not, nature law or not, it's still going to work. So we don't want to be stupid in that sense. Another point I made, the normal training system. For an example, in your childhood life, in my childhood life, when we went to school, our father or mother would say, hey, study precisely, do your homework on time. So they did. And similarly, God is the most benevolent parent and most intelligent trainer. He also follows the same system. Use the laws of karma to train us. Now, someone else, please help me to read this.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Doubts about karma. Number 1, why not action, reaction in one life? Number 2, why are the ignorant not excused? Number 3, why do natural calamities kill thousands of innocent people? Haribol.
So let's talk few minutes about this. Because somebody may ask, first point is why not action and reaction in one life? Why Ajamil could have suffered as a sadhu in that life immediately, but why he has to come as a son of a Brahmana, and then he was advancing Vedic principles, then all of a sudden just a prostitute. He had a beautiful wife. It's not like he didn't have a wife. He had a beautiful wife. But how come this prostitute who was not as beautiful as his wife got allured and took him away? Because there is something to learn in our own life. We see also, may not be exactly prostitute or wife or husband, but something else. Many times, even devotee asks, why should I suffer now for my action in the previous life? Why so much delay? Yes. Radhanath Maharaj, one time in his class, he mentioned, different seed fructify after different time durations. Grains harvest after 2 or 3 months. Some fruit seeds produce fruit after 20 years. Oak tree, in the California, there's a lot of oaks. Many other trees, they fructify after 100 years, 50 years like this, not immediately. Garbanja bean, you put in the ground, within few days, sprout coming up. So why, you cannot put that logic, why some seed just sprout in 2 days and some takes 20 years? Because every seed has its own characters, time. One may say, I don't like this fruit. I don't want it. But one will be forced to eat the fruit. I hope you understand that. Don't battle with your own karma. In India, there was a logic joke. No intelligent man will fight or argue with his own stool. Hey, why you are bad smell? Horrible. Badrinarayan Maharaj, I was talking one time. He said, yeah, the stool replied probably to him, hey, I was good food until I came in contact with you. Look at what happened to me. Anyway, I don't want to go drag about it, but I hope you got that point. So the reaction will come, but different types of karma seeds have different time duration after which they fructify. Why do different action give reaction after different time duration? To understand, you can go many pastimes. One famous pastime of all of you know about Dhritarashtra and Krishna after the war. Dhritarashtra, out of anger, he had a conversation. Can you imagine? You talking to Krishna but did not become devotee. It's very fascinating to me sometimes that how this false ego or free will can really deprive us. Dhritarashtra asked, I had 100 sons. All of them were killed in the war. Why not one at least left? Lord Krishna always merciful. He smiled and he says, 50 lifetime ago, you were a hunter. While hunting, you try to shoot a male bird, but it flew away. Then you send your constable ministers to climb the tree and find the nest if there is anything. Then they found there were 100 eggs and they are about to hatch, and they all hatched. And you were so angry because the father flew away. You killed all those birds. And the male father, the father of those birds were watching from far distance, and he was crying and crying and crying, completely devastated. So Dhritarashtra said, okay, why did I have to wait for 50 lifetimes to experience what I did 50 decades back? Why? 50 lifetimes. Lord Krishna also answered. To have 100 children is not possible by your little pious credit. You have to accumulate so many lives credit to be the father of 100 children. And that time you became a father of 100 children, but you have a bad karma also. Has to fructify. So now you experience this. So sometimes this question, why are the ignorant not excused? This is a joke, a real story in Calcutta, where this taxi, I don't know any one of you ever drove, really drive, not ride, drive taxi in Calcutta. I salute you, because that's almost impossible. Any normal driver can drive unless they're crazy. They are so good, but so dangerous. So this taxi driver just went by, and then the traffic police officer literally stopped him. He said, why did you do that? Then he got a ticket. So then the driver asked the police officer, I saw this bull is walking and you're not giving the ticket to the bull. How come you giving me the ticket? And I love the answer police officer gave. He said, because you are bigger, you are the biggest bull. That's why I give you the ticket. Means the bull don't have intelligence to understand the law. But we human beings do. If we are driving, it is not the government's duty to educate us about the laws of state. It is our duty. I remember when I got the driver license in San Diego through the DMV, it is not the DMV has to train us, no, I have to get trained before I come to the exam. And if I fail, I have to go back and came back. Some or other, I remember I passed it. It was in 1989. So similarly, if some, you can go on example after example like this, and you will come to this point. We have to be educated how karma works and what are the consequences. Third question, why do natural calamities kill thousands of innocent people? Well, you can think of many examples. One example is tsunami that hit in India, all over, even in here in New Orleans. I remember because I was involved a little bit of New Orleans temple, little bit at that time. And it was a disaster. But one example struck me that in South India, where tsunami hits, there was a scuba diver went under the ocean to grab some pearls, coral, all kinds of jewels. And they felt At one point, they're being pushed to go upward, but they came for a mission, all these people, to collect the gem. And they did. Because they resisted, they didn't want to come back on the surface. So they stayed for some time. But when they came above on the surface, they wanted to reach the coast, but there was no coast. There was no coastal because everything was devastated. If you really deeply think, the scuba diver, they had a venture in the ocean. If they went there little later or little earlier, they would be dead. But they got saved. Mahasamma Prabhu, a Prabhupada's disciple in Alachua, he told me this story. His daughter was freaked out 9/11 day. I was in San Diego. She's supposed to catch the flight. And the taxi, another devotee who was taking her relative, the tire got punctured. Now what to do? They have only 30 minutes to catch the airport, and they won't make it. Anyway, they tried. AAA came. By the time finished, already late. And she freaked out. She's, kind of like almost cursing to the cousin that your car is not good. You told me you'll give ride. I could have gone, and blah, 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 blah. Then finally, she comes back home and turned on the news and saw the same flight got crashed. So many examples we can see in our life. Why do natural kill? And all the people in that flight also died. I'm sure some of you are familiar with 9/11 incidents. Now let's go to the next. Can someone read this one, please?
Three types of actions. Karma. 1. Karma means do something to get some things. 2. Reactions of past actions now suffering is called one's karma. 3. Karma refers to the whole system of the law of karma.
Very good. So karma is not just a word, it also refers to something. According to Vedic injunction, if you do something to get something, that is also karma. Even in America, they say, do something to get something. That's karma, they think. Then when someone suffers, they say, oh, it's her or he is bad karma. That's also considered karma, that fructifying now in this life. And the whole subject, how this akarma, bikarma, shubha karma, nitya karma, naimittik karma, so vast chart, it's required itself a thorough understanding. It's time consuming, but it is very important. I remember in studying Jaiva Dharma, we did that. We spent few sessions, I think 4 hours, 8 hours to understand just karma. It was so vast. This is a shorter version. Now next one, someone please help me with that.
Is everything destined? We make our destiny. We make our destiny by our karma and vikarma. Destiny is something like a weather forecast on a journey. Vidura explains to the Dhritarashtra with respect to destiny. There are two schools of thought, Karmavada and Dvaivada.
Daivavada. Thank you, Mother. So I'll talk few minutes on this. I hope you can, I'll try to explain as best possible in a short time. We make our destiny by our karma and vikarma. So as that example, say the television or the radio news or the WhatsApp news says today is a rainy day. But you have to go to your journey wherever you are destined to go. Yes, in one sense, you cannot do stop raining. But Srila Prabhupada says, don't complain. If it is rain, it's rain. Use your intelligence. Take umbrella and go to your destiny. So Prabhupada said, you cannot change what is destined to come in your life. Like old age. People try to dye their hair into black. That doesn't mean they are not old. They're still old, but they're trying to, something they're trying to do. Anyway, I'm not criticizing someone, but I see that here, there. So destiny is fixed in one sense, but while you are driving to your destiny, how are you going to react and take this weather? It's up to you. It is not destined. You can have a wonderful time with the friends that you're riding. You can have a joke and talk about Krishna, philosophy. You could be joyful atmosphere. Maybe it's raining outside. So yes, it is destiny, but not your take or your existence doesn't have to be affected by destiny only. Or whatever you are destined to. A good example, that same thing with Vidura and Dhritarashtra. Destiny determines the consequences of our action, but not our action themselves. That means when we are not like programmed robots that have no free will, our past karma does determine what will happen in our life. But it does not determine, Prabhus and mothers, how you will react to it. With respect to destiny, there are two schools of thought. One is Karmabad and Daivabad. It's a famous. Jiva Goswami Pad also gave a commentary on it. By my karma, I'll be successful. If I just work hard enough and smart enough, then I'll become the next richest man. By my sweat and my muscle, I'll succeed. But if you look at the reality of life, so many people work hard, but not all of them are successful. Therefore, Karmabad, the idea that everything depends on my action, will bring you frustration if you just believe that. When we say, randomly, even amongst us, we say, oh, Prabhu, can we see you? We'll see you tomorrow. We say, Krishna willing. Well, don't go just by Krishna willing. Krishna is not a dictator. I hope you don't think like that. Krishna is a reciprocator. You desire. If Krishna sees that is possible, he sanctions. And if it is good for you. If it is not, he won't sanction. So it's not Krishna's willing only. It is our desire. Combined with Krishna's willing, then Maya will act. Or facility will be there. So, sometimes, we feel sorry we study so hard and get a good marks or don't get a good marks. And sometimes we get bewildered. But if we are honest, we also will admit that sometimes in our life, we don't study very much, but we get the good result. It happened to me. I bought cubic zirconium. No, I was not dealing in the cubic zirconium 30 years back. But out of cubic zirconium, $1,200 bill, I'll never forget this. There was a one CZ, cubic zirconium, we call CZ. There's was a 8.9 millimeter diameter. It was a diamond. The Shakra or goldsmith, Mr. Krill Hintermister, used to work for me. He said, Govind, this is not a cubic zirconium, this is a diamond. That was worth $39,000. How in the $1,200 package, $39,000 came? So I called the company. I will never forget that. I said, did you send me cubic zirconium or diamond? He said, cubic zirconium. I said, possible you mix? He said, we never deal with diamond. I said, okay, case is closed. Forget, we are not cheating or anything. But how it came, we don't know. So like this, sometimes we get profit, sometimes we lose. How do we? So what is the lesson here? The Dhritarashtra versus Vidura. Don't go with the Dhritarashtra style. Stay as Vidura style. Vidura told to Dhritarashtra, look, I witnessed what your son did. Duryodhana came to Dhritarashtra. He said, Father, I can't live with the Kauravas. If you think I can have a separate country, no, I cannot live in a different country even. What to talk about separate palaces? No, impossible. And in the same palace. So I have a plan. Nobody knows, only you and your minister. And Vidura was there, happened. I have a plan. Pandavas will be eliminated from the face of the earth. Nobody will know. It will start with Bhima. Dhritarashtra immediately objected. How could I allow you to do that? I was born blind. My brother used to take me to toilet everywhere, shower and everywhere, because he was so kind to me. And his children to be killed. Okay, Father, you have one choice. I'm making it very short story. You have one choice. Either you will see Bhima or me. You make the choice. But you cannot see both. You will not be able to have presence of both. If you don't answer, I will accept that you agree with me to eliminate. Dhritarashtra was so shocked. He felt a strong attachment to the son, even though he never saw the son. He only knows him by the sound. But he had to allow Duryodhana to do these atrocities. After Duryodhana left, Vidura confronted Dhritarashtra. How could you do this? Dhritarashtra replied, he's a king. No, this is Daivavad philosophy. Everything is destined. If it is destined, then they will be killed. What can I do? Vidura objected. You have your duty. You are the father, you are emperor. As an emperor, you are father of the whole citizen, everyone. They have no father. You are actually acting as their father also. You have a right to protect both. Not only just Kauravas, Pandavas also. Dhritarashtra says, but I believe in destiny. Vidura says, but you have a freedom to choose to do your duty and tell your son no. You can train him not to be envious like this. Dhritarashtra says, I don't believe in that. I believe in Daivavad, that what is destined, it will happen. And Prabhus and mothers, I know you all are not Dhritarashtra follower, we are Vidura followers. We need to teach that to the outsider also, to our friends, to our extended family, those who are not yet Krishna consciousness. Now, with the time consuming, I'm going to go to the next. Someone please read this.
Benefits of knowledge of karma. 1, social, 2, individual.
Understanding of karma has a lot of bearing on the present state of society. When we understand karma, will the call to morality have any meaning? Imagine you come to a city where it says, welcome to city. There is no police officer on the road. You think how many people, honestly, can somebody answer me? How many people you think will follow the law? Someone help me. It says, welcome to the city. There is no police officers in the city on duty to check you whether you're following or not. How many will follow?
Very few people. Very few people.
Oh, you are so kind, mother. Thank you. Mostly none. That's true. Very few. Those who are wise, intelligent, they would. Yeah, you know, I remember Girish Jogani in Los Angeles, one gem business holder. He's a Jain, good friend of mine, very good friend. And I remember a first meeting in '89. He says, God-fearing people is good, isn't? I remember we talked for 2 hours and I was young. I said, yes, God-fearing, but why? Then we started talk. And he was bringing a logic of from Jain scripture of I'm sure you all heard that story maybe, a man who was jealous. He asked God to give, he was meditating, I'm going in a short, and he said that I want to be rich and everything. So he was praying very seriously. God appeared, God told him, before you ask your prayers, what you want, before I give you boon, I have to tell you something. Whatever you ask, I'll give double to your friends and your neighbors. I never forget the story, 35 years old, 35 years back. So he said, then this man changes. He said, my Lord, give me little time. Can I ask you the boon for tomorrow? Tomorrow, not today. I have to think about it. So he had to go to lawyer. I mean, lawyer means, those days, like Sokoni Mama type of lawyer, and discuss what to do. He said, so where is your happiness? He said, my happiness that I'm supposed to be the rich amongst all my family members, all my friends. If everybody gets double, then what is the benefit for me? I'm not happy seeing everybody getting double and I'm getting only, if I get 1 million, they get 2 million. It doesn't make me happy. So then lawyer gave him some advice. So he did. Next day, God appeared. Say, ready? Yes. I want well, because drinking water, well, to be all around my houses, property. And Lord says, okay. And you have one more boon. He said, one eye to be blind. Now you all can figure it out. What is the end? I won't say it. I'm sure you are smart enough. This is in the Jain scripture, according to Girish Jogani told me. It was very interesting, fascinating. Karma is always fascinating. But now, once you understand the karma from A to Z, you will appreciate bhakti. But you also will feel sad that people are not educated about karma. That's why Krishna spoke in 11th canto so much about karma. He said every devotee even should do karma until they come to karma yoga, or you can say karma mishra bhakti, until they come to this point. Tavat karmani kurbeta na niravedya javata matkata sravanado va saddhajavan na jayate. Until you have two things happen. If you feel your heart is quenching to hear about Krishna, then no more karma in your life. And second part is that you are satiated with the material enjoyment. Krishna says, if you have these two things, we all can check in our heart, then you have no more danger of karma reaction. Now, that's the social. The individual is a very in a short. What's the time now? Okay. Individual is like, sometimes even more important is that understanding of law of karma, how it will help us individually. That our present condition why we are going through this, it will make sense. And it will give you a strength to face suffering. So it is important to understand this karma philosophy. You know, in the beginning, there was only 100,000 verses. 86,000 verses, all about karma kanda. And you wonder why Vyasdev put 86,000 verses all on karma kanda? Because people will not be attracted to follow Veda if their sense gratification is not given. And rest 14,000 left. 4,000 for Jnana Kanda and 10,000 for Upasana Kanda. Out of 10,000, the Bhakti section comes. So very short part, because Vyasdev saw Bhakti performers are very few. We are in a golden age right now. This 10,000 years is a golden age. You can literally see Hare Krishnas are everywhere in Google, Facebook. You fly any city, you will see the Hare Krishnas. This is a golden age. Yes, Kali Yuga presence also full-fledged, but doesn't matter. It's a golden age. Krishna will be reminded. So individually, when we become well-versed in the science of karma, it is like the blindfold you have is removed. It's a big relief. You will not say anymore, why me? Why now? Why this? People ask this all the time. They may not say it, but in their mind, why me? Why I'm going through this? Why? Why this argument? Why my spouse? Why this? Why? All the time. You'll never ask once you understand this. Krishna consciousness is so beautiful. So when we become very well versed in the science of karma, it is like a blindfold removed. It's a big relief. People in this age, they talk so much about this. Now I'll complete with this, that I want somebody to read it, but I'll finish this. The science of karma, I want everybody to remember, please. I know you are all advanced already. Some of you are more advanced than me, but still I have to ask. The science of karma is not a science of condemnation. It is a science of redemption. Its message is not, oh, you are sinful, you suffer because of your bad karma. No, its message is, whatever be your past karma for which you are going through or suffering through, just surrender to Krishna. And Krishna's grace, Prabhupada's grace, will come upon you and you will be saved. That's the message. Now, my final point is here. Can somebody read this?
Complete freedom from karma by bhakti. Beyond good karma, there is a akarma, devotional service, which brings the ultimate freedom from karmic entanglement. Let's see how. Devotional service provides us with 4 great gifts. 1. Discrimination of right and wrong. 2. Discrimination to follow right and avoid wrong. 3. Minimization of sinful reaction. 4. Inner strength to face sufferings. Reborn.
Very good. So I'll just talk few minutes on each, and then I'll open if you have any question or further discussion. When we practice devotional service, bhakti, Krishna as a Paramatma in our hearts, he grants us the knowledge to make right choice. You know, Bhakti Japa Sangha group doing the greatest benevolent act right now in this world. And imagine each of us bring 10 people to this group. What will happen? And they bring another 10 people. All these people will stop suffering. Can you imagine? Just this knowledge itself is so powerful. I see within me, I don't react a lot of things which I would react in my early age because of understanding. All of us can, at some point or other, hear the voice of our inner Vivek Buddhi, conscience. When we start doing something wrong, then the voice from inside warns, don't do this. If we want to do something right, the voice will also say, yes, do this now. So when we chant the holy name of Krishna, when we practice bhakti, this inner voice becomes stronger and it guides us to make the right choice in life. I'm sure Prabhus and mothers, out of maybe humility, you may not confess. You may not agree or say it. I'm sure all you have experienced how Krishna is guiding from within. If a rascal devotee like me can experience, I'm sure all of you do. And we see this practically. You feel joyful, that reciprocation. The devotional service bhakti can grant us this knowledge to gradually become disentangled from all karma. The second point, the determination to follow right and avoid wrong. What that will do? That will save us from doing further bad karma and craving to do bad karma. Chanting of the holy names gives us the inner satisfaction and enable us to say no to all the sinful pleasure of this world. We not only know the right choice, but we also get the willpower to make those right choices. Third point, minimizing of sinful reactions. Certain reactions are going to come to us from past, but devotional service helps us in minimizing those reactions. I give an example. I had a pre-ulcer condition in San Diego. Dr. Bera told me, an Indian doctor, he says, pre-ulcer is like a little danger. So if I am little hungry, didn't eat for 2 hours, I get little nauseous. So one time, this Maharaj, Madhav Maharaj, is a Western body. He said, Pran Govinda, are you doing Nirjala? I said, Maharaj, Nirjala? I have to eat every 2 hours. He said, hey, this is Pandava Nirjala. What are you talking about? I said, Maharaj, what if I faint and die? He said, I'll take responsibility. Now, out of joke or I don't know how he said in San Diego, I had a determination and trust on him. I said, I'll do it. And I did it. It's almost 30 years now. I don't know what happened pre-ulcer. It's disappeared. Doctor said they don't even know what happened. And I do strictly Ekadashi. And I broke 2 Ekadashis when I entered into business life. I remember I was starving and there was no food. Many years back in 89, yeah. But after that Nirjala, I started doing this strictly Ekadashi, follow Ekadashi. And I see that disease was cured, not only cured, I feel very strong. So like this, we can, if we have a good sadhu sangha, senior, sincere devotees association, we can actually uplift our health condition, mental condition to practice bhakti seriously, sincerely. One time, you all know that story, a devotee cut his finger when he was cutting vegetable. He went to Srila Prabhupada and he asked Prabhupada, my finger got cut. Even though he was cutting the vegetable for Krishna. So Prabhupada saw his face. Prabhupada says that his neck supposed to be severed. He said, be thankful to Krishna. You should be grateful and thank to Krishna right now that instead of my neck severed, you just got little to the finger cut. Since that devotee became so serious, till today, he chants 32 rounds and he cries whenever he tells this story that how Prabhupada actually gave him a most merciful teachings that Krishna is more merciful than we are seeking his mercy. We should come more forward. And the last point, okay, I will stop here sharing. Last point is, inner strength to face suffering. How do we do that? Whatever residual karma that comes upon us, devotional service grants us the strength to tolerate that suffering. Radhanath Maharaj, recently I had a talk, was so kindly actually illuminate the word tolerance, because tolerance is the first word after Arjuna shifted his vision from his sorrowness to the from his functional identity to the fundamental identity, that is a soul. The next verse, Krishna says, Matra Sparshas Kunte. You must tolerate this. Shohishnana. Why? Because killing grandfather, you have to tolerate. So how it is applied to in our life? Tolerate. Radhanath Maharaj said something, it was very striking to me. I'm sure you all heard it, or maybe you thought about it. Before you want to tolerate from someone, accept that person's condition. Why that person, whatever condition it is, just accept. Accept means thankful. Be grateful that person in your life right now. Accept it. Even though that person may have a many fault, just accept it. That person didn't know anything better. Some or other came in contact with the Hare Krishna philosophy now through me. Okay, I'll talk. So tolerance began with acceptance, the condition of each person that we meet in life. It's very hard because we are become judgmental. And it works so much, so beautiful. As I mentioned maybe before, that right here in our supermarket, I had this higher taste. I always have a bag of higher taste in my car. So I saw this black body person, he's eating the hot dog. So I went there. He said, you must like the food. I said, yeah, I grew up with it. It's so tasty. I said, but I'm sure you want to also live a long life, right? Without disease. He said, yeah. I said, then you have to read this book. There's a secret given. What you are putting inside your body, you should be aware. Oh yeah, let me see. How much? I said, whatever you want to give. He said, I don't have anything right now. I said, okay, still I'll give you this book gift. It's very funny. I went inside the shop and came out. He gave me $5. So I took it. I said, okay. I said, promise you're going to read? He said, yes, he's going to read. So like this, now I was thinking like if I become judgmental, I would not be able to give him the book. I'll be thinking like, oh my God, he's eating hot dog. He's going to go to hell. How are you going to preach? So it's very soothing the way Maharaj told me. And our acharyas give many examples how Krishna gives us strength to endure our sufferings. I'm sure you know many technique. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur expressed in his book, in his own writing, how his childhood life in a school life so tough that he went to those days the teacher would actually weep on the hand, you know, like that. And this a wonderful story that one mother knew the child did not finish the homework, but he has to go to school. So what she did, she put some kind of a cloth covering his hands like a gloves. I don't think in the village they had a gloves those days, but she put a wrap on it. So he got the whip, but he didn't get the pain out of it so much, just a little bit. So similarly, our suffering, I was meditating on it, our suffering is like this. We're supposed to suffer so much once you become devotee. Krishna just minimize it a little. And if you want to read Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 26 chapter, 69 verse. Prabhupada says, very interestingly, he says, a devotee when joined, he prays to the Lord, my Lord, I'm hearing everything about horrible existence in this material world. I want to go back home, please. please, my Lord, please make this arrangement so I can go back home and serve you there. And Krishna is thinking, this rascal Pran Govinda, I'm just using my name. He wants to marry a beautiful girl, have an island, helicopter. He wants to be the king. So many desires, so many life. And Krishna is looking at it. He wants to go back home and he has all these thousands of desires to be fulfilled. What to do? I like the way Prabhupada says. So I'm paraphrasing. Prabhupada said, Krishna gives a token. So when something happened, Prabhu's and mother, take it, be grateful, thanks to Guru and Krishna. So thank you for minimizing this suffering. Even though I don't like it, but I deserve it. Do not complain. Do not make fuss about it. So in conclusion, I end with this sentence. Irrespective of whatever our past karma may be, the spiritually scientific process of bhakti is the best path to the highest happiness in this life and the next. Thank you, Mother and Prabhus. We have 5 minutes. Am I right, Mother Radha?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Any
It's a wonderful
reflection?
class. Beautiful presentation, Prabhuji, and very nice interactive section. I'm requesting devotees, if anybody have any questions or realization, please go ahead.
Danvat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for allowing me to speak. The whole the theme you emphasize so much is summarized in that slok Srimad Bhagavatam. Tattenu kampam su samiksmano bhunjanevatma krutam vipagam radvagvapur vidhan namaste jivetyum tipad sadaiva. So that slok came to my mind, and that's exactly what you have said like that. Haribol,
Yes,
thank you.
very nice. Very nice. That is one verse we should keep on our throat. Yes, yes. Any reflection, other, or any objection? You don't agree?
So, Prabhu, there is one chat question, quick chat question, Prabhu. I wanted to read for you that.
Okay.
Prabhu, could you also share the reference for the story of Ajamila being the sage who saw Parashara and Satyavati? I'm confused because if Ajamila was reborn after the incident of the birth of Vyasa, why Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.20 says that it is a very ancient history being spoken in the past? Can you throw more light on these times?
This is from we have one devotee, our Panditji, his name is Krishna Sarup Prabhu. He's a Nepali Brahman. So his father is a member of Arya Samaj. I'm sure you all heard about Arya Samaj. And they publish a book called Bhaktamala. And in Bhaktamala, this story, this is Parashar Muni is not the Ajamil. The sage who judgmental to Parashar Muni became Ajamil, not Parashar Muni. Okay.
No, that only, Prabhu. But then this Ajamila story is very ancient story. But so how come it came like that? That is what our question is.
Ajamila story very ancient in a sense. Actually, there are 2 other stories that Brahma Vaivarta Purana also talks about, that a brahmachari boy who was serving his guru so diligently, so austere, seriously and severely he was served, but he was very negligent on his health. So one time he was out of severe austerity, he fainted and he was not coming back to his life. Then Guru called the neighbor girl, told her, because Guru knew the science of how this physical body modes, reacts and acts. So told her to give a big embrace and kiss his lip. And she did. And then he some or other came back to life. But when he opened his eyes, he saw this girl and he became so angry. He immediately cursed her. How dare, I'm a brahmachari, you kiss me, you become a prostitute. Did not even look at nearby, there is a guru and the ashram, how this girl did not see anything. So that story also there. So it's not a one Ajamil. I'm thinking that every day of Brahmaji, there's a different Ajamil. Just like, Balaramji, one day of Brahmaji, he appears. We take Jiva Goswami's path that he appeared 7 days before. Somewhere it says Garga Samhita 5 days before. Somewhere it says 1 year later. That we don't accept. It's not wrong. It's just a different day of Brahmaji. This Leela is happening. And there is another story also similar where the elderly mothers seeing this brahmachari of this ashram drowning in the lake while he was swimming out of cold, she rescued. But when she rescued, she held tightly and tried to take his water out from his stomach. I don't know how the process she did. Shastra doesn't say that. But at that time, he opened his eye and he saw this lady. She got angry. He got angry. He cursed her to become prostitute. Seeing this lady also was a very pious. He said, okay, then you become the prostitute hunter next life. Well, that also came as an ajam. So yes, it is an ancient story. It is also this Parashar times also happened.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other? Otherwise, we can close.
Prabhuji, one more question in the chat from Gupta. Beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you. When we tolerate a adverse situation created by someone, considering it as our past karma, how do we get to forgiveness after tolerance? Also, not to dwell on it after.
We can do best, as Radhanath Maharaj suggested, accept the condition why that person came in my life and why is causing. Second, you can see this is a token, not really a big blow. So it's a token. Third is, can you actually forgive that person? Then the purification began in your life. Until we forgive, it is not possible. And once you actually develop this attitude, start practicing forgiving, you will not anymore think or dwell bad about it. You'll see a mystical within your heart, that your heart transform, change. The forgiveness is such a powerful tool. Bhishma Dev suggested many times. You can be even opposite side of the person who is hurting you. But Bhishma Dev was also on the opposite side. But he never had a resentment. This is not easy, but it is possible if we want to come to that level. Then it will be easy. You will not dwell. You will dwell good only about that Krishna is so kind through that devotee purifying me and that devotee also going back home. One commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that even when we become devotee, we have to be careful about our family members. It's not accidental you are born in a particular family. I hope you all know. Kopil Dev also mentioned that. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur emphasized. It's not accidental you are born in a particular family. You have a debts to that family. By becoming devotee, yes, you pay off debts, there is no question. Devorshi bhutaptaninam pitrinam nanayaki nayamine charajan sarvatmanaja saranam saranyam gato mukunda puriyartha kurtum. Those verses 11 canto, yes, emphasize. But it is also important when Brahmananda Prabhu asked Prabhupada about his mother. He said, you should touch her feet. because she gave you birth. You have a debts. And Prabhupada gave a very nice explanation. So we have a debts to our parents, to our family members in a sense. Only way you pay off by becoming Krishna conscious and give them prasadam, give them books, give them inspiration. Without inspiration, they will not be attracted to Krishna consciousness. Judgmental, sentimental will never bring to Krishna consciousness. Inspiration, whatever you see, everybody has some good quality. And guess what? If you are not a devotee, you hate your family, you are forced to take birth again in that family. It's not like you just run away. Running from where? You cannot run from your karma. You can run maybe physical distance for a little while. In one sense, everything is beautiful in Krishna consciousness. But without Krishna consciousness, everything is complex, disgusting, actually. I hope that helps you, Lily.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's already.
There are two more questions. Can we take these questions offline, Prabhu? Because it's already 8:05. There are two more questions. I can put these questions to you.
Okay.
In your phone. I will just copy them and we can take them offline because it's already 8:05. 8 o'clock is our closing time.
Sure, Mother.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Pran Govind Prabhuji ki
Jai.
Jai.
Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam to all.